Imagine, you've had your phone for a couple years now. It's time for you to get a new one. This just so happens to be the time the Samsung is releasing the new Samsung Galaxy Note 7. And you're especially excited to get this phone because it has released a month earlier than the projected 12-month cycle. You get the Note 7, and a few weeks after having it, it explodes on you. So, hopefully that didn't happen to any of you. But it did happen to roughly 92 people. May have happened to people more than once. According to the NPR website, A.V. Greengart says, nobody knows what went wrong. But for the people who experienced the exploding, they want to know what went wrong. They want some closure over this incident. They want Samsung to fix the problem or admit they were at fault. Hello, my name is Cole Nance, and the goal of this presentation is to analyze the Samsung crisis and explore the measures they took through the image restoration theory to help protect their image and their brand. In this presentation, I will discuss image repair theory, apply image repair theory to this case, and offer recommendations for other organizations. So moving on to my first point, let's discuss image repair theory. This theory claims that the basic concept of image restoration is to maintain a favorable image is of great importance. And we need some strategies to help us maintain that image. Because we make mistakes that put our image at scrutiny and subject to attack. Sometimes it's a shortage of limited resources such as time, money, space, and etc. And sometimes events beyond our control can prevent us from meeting our obligations. And then sometimes we just make mistakes, whether they're honest ones or ones of our own self-interest. Image repair theory is most useful in protecting oneself. You can use image repair theory to protect your brand or clear your name. It's useful under any circumstance where you are accused of something that is negative or that you have done, and you need to use the image repair theory and their strategies to help protect your reputation. The strategies of image repair theory are denial, evading responsibility, reducing offensiveness, corrective action, and mortification. And through these strategies, you can help keep a positive image in the public. And that is the focus of this theory. So moving on to a timeline of this crisis. On August 19, 2016, Samsung released the Galaxy Note 7. The highly anticipated smartphone, released a month ahead of schedule and beat Apple to the market with the most unique smartphone on that market. Soon after it was released, there was cases where the Note 7 caught on fire and even exploded, causing minor injuries and loss of property. This crisis hit every news media outlet there is. It was on social media. It was on YouTube. It was even at airports. There was to urge people to turn off their phones if they had the Note 7 or to not take their phones with them. There was actually 3 planes evacuated because of this. With a crisis like this for a company as big as Samsung, it was important for Samsung to respond quickly and shed a positive light on its image. The Note 7 was released on August 19, 2016. The first reported exploding Note 7 was August 24, 2016, only 5 days later. Samsung had a quick response, having its first response by September 2nd, 2016. Samsung continued their responses in the US and in China on September 8th, 9th, and the 19th. Samsung came out soon after the reports of the exploding Note 7s and issued a global recall or an exchange program. They cited faulty batteries as the reason for the explosions. They also offered refunds if any person chose not to exchange the device. The recall on the Note 7 was a corrective action. This showed Samsung was trying to right their wrong. Samsung also attempted to shift blame, evade responsibility, by citing the faulty battery and blaming their battery carrier as the reason for the exploding phones. This was an attempt to keep a positive image, make the crisis look as though it wasn't entirely their fault. But the recalled Note 7s also exploded. So after this, The publics were looking for an explanation. However, Samsung never came out with one. They never said what was wrong with the Note 7. Their responses were that they were trying to get to the bottom of it, never providing a clear-cut explanation. The messages they sent out were sort of mixed because they were misinformed responses. They never truly got to the bottom of the phone explosion because the new phones they sent out in the recall were also exploding, like I mentioned. Overall, their communication strategies were effective, but in the end, the quality of the product was not good, repeatedly causing the public to believe that consumer safety was not a priority to Samsung. My recommendations for Samsung and other companies would be to be completely transparent with the public, offer accurate explanations with the public, and stay consistent. Also focus on quality control. Now, even though they apologized for the explosions and they offered the recalls, the exchange programs, the phones they brought back after the recall also exploded. They never stopped mass producing. So it kind of showed that maybe consumer safety wasn't their number one priority, and the quality control needed considerable improvement. In conclusion, Samsung produced a smartphone that was supposed to be the most unique smartphone at that time. People hoarded to retail stores to get their hands on them. Soon after, the phones started exploding, and consumers wanted compensations or answers to why. Though Samsung had some effective communication strategies regarding image restoration, their overall image took a hit. Because of Samsung's inability to find solutions or take full blame, Samsung had its opportunities. People asked for recalls, and instead of switching phones, they stayed loyal to Samsung. But Samsung failed to meet a quality standard the public needs, and we can see that through their image repair strategies Samsung employed, whether it was corrective action, evading responsibility, or denial. And with each of these, there was a different reaction from the public. But overall, Samsung's reputation has been hurt. They should have been more consistent and accurate, and stressed that consumer safety was their number one priority.